I'm back. Yes, I know it has been some time since I have done anything in front of the camera. I wanted to do the recap for 12 episodes for a whole entire year. We did 2? I think we did 2. But yeah, things happened, and as you can tell by the upload count, this is a rough year for me. But you wanna know something? Something good is going to come out of this. About 3 years ago, I said that I had a 2 cents video in the works, and it is a video we're doing today. So without further ado, 2 cents is back with What is Love? Okay, so love has to be one of the most complicated things in the universe. It's kind of similar to one of those doohickeys that Lady Liberty holds. You put too much on one side and the other side doesn't have it. It's gonna topple over and it's dead. So today I want to kind of talk about my perspective on love and the whole balance that has to be there to make it work. Now, by definition, love is an intense feeling of deep affection. I don't believe it's that simple. In the past 25 years of my life, I've had a little bit of dabbling in the field of love, but mostly I kind of play from the sidelines. Basically, people kind of tell me, oh, I got into a relationship, and then they tell me how the relationship progresses, and then we go ahead and hit the rise, and then sometimes the fall. So what is it that sparks this feeling, and how do you find love? Well, let's go ahead and start out with this. It's kind of dependent on what you're after. So basically, you got 2 types. You got the sexual relationship over here, and you got the more lovey-dovey traditional over here. So basically what I'm going to be focusing is over here. We're going to focus on the lovey-dovey emotional-based relationship. Okay, that's what I mainly want to focus on. But we'll go ahead and cover this guy for a quick second. If you're looking for a sexual relationship, don't look for it to last too long, because honestly, people who are into that aren't really into the long term. They're more into, hey, let's go ahead and do stuff now. All in all, your partner's not going to be so much into you as into more of what you're doing. I'd say in more of these relationships than not, you're going to be basically seeing like an ending of heartbreak because one partner may attach feelings to the other person, but the other person, remember, was into it for the doing, not the lovey-dovey. Now, that is not to say that these things don't actually result into proper relationships. The truth be told is that I know quite a few of these relationships that started out sexual, but actually progressed into successful relationships. Now, I gotta be honest, the main factor in this was that we had one partner over here, one partner over here, and then they came to a middle, a little present that was not planned. The present's there, and when they opened up the present, out came a baby. Yeah. Now, I will say that both of the relationships that I have in mind that got kind of like really into this and were bound, if you were, by this child, they've been successful relationships, and overall they seem probably to be some of the happier relationships that I've seen. Now let's say, yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, sexual relationship, that's what I want. That's what I'm all about. Okay, let's go do that. How do I do that? Well, honestly, where you're gonna want to go is you're probably gonna want to go to a bar that has like a bunch of parties and stuff like that, where everyone's gonna be getting drunk and they don't really care at all about what you look like or anything. Motherfucker. That scared the shit out of me. That was a nut. Hey, don't nut on my parade. This is No Nut November. And if you don't really want to hit up a bar, you could always be the shut-in that goes on to Tinder, or if you're of the other standard, Grindr. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and shove the sexual relationships out of the way, so that way we can make some room for the typical lovey-dovey, feely stuff. Yeah. Now for a creation of what I consider to be typical love. Here comes Mr. Man. Here comes Mr. Woman. Oh, hey. Hey, I like you. I like you too. Gets on one knee. Will you marry me? Sure, I love you. And then they go ahead and they and get married, and then they live happily ever after. The end. Now do note, I do not have a preference. It can be man-woman, it could be man-man, it could be man-woman, it could be woman-woman, it could be, I don't care. It can be no animals, none of that. You bad people, you. Don't marry your computer or your car. There's The world is a stupid place. Okay, so where does this traditional love start? Okay, because everything has to have a beginning, a middle, and then an end. Okay, so where's the beginning of this whole thing? I would say in most cases, the beginning is never really that romantic, honestly. It just kind of happens, is what I've noticed. Whether you're at a party at like a friend's house, or maybe if you're more modern, you could just be in a Skype call with somebody and then you'd meet them through that way. One of my friends actually found his current girlfriend, and she actually moved here through PlayStation. They actually met online in Destiny. You could call it Destiny, because you get it? Destiny's the name of the game, and then they'll start Destiny to get together. Oh, this is why I don't do these anymore. It's because it gets so stupid. So dumb. So at some point along the way, person 1 will eventually ask person 2 out on a date, and then eventually you have a couple. So how do we go from the couple state to the more serious relationship, I want to love you for life kind of point? Well, I would say the number one thing that I've seen and I've noticed is communication. Communication is everything, and without it in a relationship, the relationship is pretty much meaningless. Telling your partner something like, I love you for the first time, or maybe it's a conflict of something that you just don't like about the other person that they were doing. You gotta communicate that stuff no matter how hard it may seem. If you don't communicate the things out, they're gonna bubble inside of you and it's going to turn into this steaming hot lava that will eventually erupt out of you to the point of where it will cause a lot more damage than it would have if you just vented it out a little bit earlier. This kind of brings me up to the second point, which is acceptance. Nobody in the world is perfect, and if you think you're perfect, you're wrong. And let me tell you something else, your partner won't be either. Coming to terms and dealing with your partner's flaws is all part of trying to make a relationship work. Because if you can accept your partner for their flaws and you can deal with them, then you're going to be stronger than ever. If you can't accept your partner's flaws, or your partner can't accept your own, then there's going to be a rough time in your future for trying to get these things figured out. I'll put it this way. If you can't come to terms with your partner's flaws, and your partner can't come to terms with your flaws, it's going to be more chaotic than a family reunion talking about politics. Look, all I'm saying is that he is definitely a pig and he should not be president of the United States right now. Build the wall. Oh, see, then we go right back to the wall thing again. Build the wall. See, we should be building connections. We shouldn't be separating ourselves. Build the wall. Look, all you guys think is the wall. Pig. Thank you. That is my terrible impression of family politics. Build the wall. Build the wall. That's all I got. Build the wall. Build the wall. Why not? Build the wall. One thing that I think that I see personally that's really, really unhealthy is social media. When you get onto social media, people show you what they want you to see. It's kind of the same way with the news. The news wants to show you what you're going to be interested in, not necessarily what is newsworthy. So when we go onto social media, we're seeing people hugging and kissing and, oh, I love him so much. And then he's like, oh, she my bae, and all this stuff. And it's just kind of like, wow, they're so perfect. Why can't I have that? And that is extremely unhealthy for a freaking relationship, especially if you're starting and you have a fight. Because as soon as you have that first fight, you're like, why can't we be like them? Why can't we be like the perfect couple over there, huh? Why can't we be that? And the truth is you're probably more stable than them. One pattern that I've seen is that more pictures that go on Facebook of couples and stuff like that, like every single day, with the captions of I love you, boo, and stuff like that, or people hacking each other's account, like, oh, hey, blah, 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 love you, I love my girlfriend so much, posts being posted by the girlfriend herself. Those relationships never last. They don't. A real successful relationship stays off of the social media and it stays between you two. It stays between this. It doesn't go elsewhere. Why does it need to go elsewhere? If you think about it that way, why does it need to go anywhere else? It should just involve you and your partner. It's simple. That's why I'm making this video though. It's 2 cents. It's 2 cents. Wait, no, 2 cents. Is it 2 cents? Or is it 2 cents? I can't remember if the video is going to flop it. Either way, 2 cents. Because people don't have common sense. But that's why I'm doing this video in 2 cents, is because it should involve common sense, but nobody has common sense anymore. So now I gotta make a video on it. Now, the third thing on my list to do for a successful relationship is to compromise. Let's go ahead and take a football team for example. Say it is the 4th down. You got 1 yard left to go. It is the game winner. You are right there, 1 yard away from getting that touchdown. You may have the coach make the most ridiculous call in the world and say, I want to pass. Not everyone on the team is going to agree with it. But the fact is that everybody still comes together in the end and they compromise to make that play happen. There isn't really much difference for a healthy relationship. Say in the terms of keeping and taking care of a house. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a female and a male, okay? Now let's say that the woman takes care of laundry and maybe bathroom cleaning and stuff like that. So as a compromise, the guy could be the one who goes and buys groceries and maybe does the cooking of the house. Or maybe he does like taking out the garbage and stuff like that. Dividing out the chores that you have to do on a day-to-day basis is part of being in a healthy relationship. And it doesn't necessarily have to just apply to chores. If the guy wants to go out and have guys' night on Saturday, because Saturday night is for the boys. I don't have any boys. What am I? I'm not kidding. I don't have it. I got Ben. I got him. That's about it. Love that man. But then say that the woman wants to go ahead and hang out on maybe Sundays with her girls and stuff like that. There can be a compromise in different areas for this is me time, this is your time, and then the rest of it is us time. Same with divvying up a car. If your relationship has only one car, you may have to compromise on where you guys are going. If you guys are going to go far away or not too far away, where the vehicle's going. In the same way, if you had a spending budget. Maybe you wanted to go ahead and get a case of beer because Saturday night is for the boys. And maybe she wanted makeup. Well, maybe last time the guy got his way, so it'd be the female's turn to get her makeup or something like that. That would be compromise. There is so many examples of where compromise needs to be a thing. The guy can't always have his way. The female can't always have her way, just in any combination. I mean, you gotta let them have both their ways. Eventually, just saying, you gotta compromise and come to even understandings. Even if that means that neither of you get what you want, and that just stays in your savings account. But this brings me to my next point, is fights. Now, I'll tell you what, fights are not bad. They are not a bad thing at all. In fact, fights are healthy. Fights are just part of relationships and love. I think at some point in every single one of our lives, we've had a fight with a parent, a sibling, even your cat. But at the end of the day, you still love them. The most important part about the fight is not how it started, but how it ends. If at the end of the night, or a couple years down the line, you can look back at it and you can laugh about it, then that's how you know it was an okay fight. If you have a fight and you can't forget about it and you can't move on from it, then fights are meant to be about disagreements and coming together with the compromise. It's not about, hey, you did something and I'm never going to forgive you for that. It's about coming together and just hashing it out a little bit and then being able to laugh about it at the end. Because if you come out of it and both parties are hurt, then that's pretty much a huge dent in the relationship that you guys can't move past from. All in all, love is a very complex thing. It's not something that is going to be easy to find or something that's just going to come to your doorstep. But it's instead something that once it happens, then you seize the opportunity and you try and make it work. You could try and force someone into loving you. But if that was the case, it would be a very unhealthy relationship because instead of having two partners, you're going to have either like an abusive or very dominant leader with a very, very submissive follower. If you're in a relationship where you feel love is just a struggling thing, then I would say you would probably be missing one of the key 3 things I talked about in this video. Either A, your communication is missing, B, the acceptance is missing, or C, the compromise is missing. If all 3 of those things are working in unison and working well, there should be no problems with the relationship at all. If you're doing all 3 things and it's still not working, then I would say you're just not a match. Not a match, boys. I'm sure there are plenty of other elements that could be added to that list, but those are the 3 key things that really stuck out in what I've known and what I've observed. There's one quote that I want to read off that one of my friends said at his brother's wedding. Don't ever go to bed mad. If you go to bed mad, you'll just wake up with that same feeling. Go to bed loving each other. It was something along those lines. And it couldn't be more true. That's why when I was in my relationships, I made sure to message them every single night that I loved them. Because I never ever wanted them to think that I never did. I wanted them to go to bed with constant feeling that they were loved and that they were appreciated. And it's something that I always made sure that I never forgot. And that's not to say that I ever made the words I love you dull or anything like that. Because if I ever say the words I love you, I definitely mean it. Because those are some of the most sacred words next to I promise in my dictionary. Because if I say I promise to you, I promise. Like if you want me to go kill that guy over there, if you want me to go kill him, I'll go kill him. I'll go kill him. I promise. I got him. So I guess I want to end the video by saying this. Love is that feeling that you get when you're around someone that you deeply care about. That feeling that you get when you look at your phone and you see their name pop up on a message. Or maybe that feeling that you get when you see them pull in your driveway. Love is that feeling that you would do anything that you could for that person. Even at the cost of your own happiness. Because if you cared that much about somebody, to sacrifice yourself, and that person feels the same way towards you, then you have a relationship that is literally unstoppable. I think that about does it for this episode though, you guys. But yeah, this episode seriously has taken 3 years to get to this point, and I feel it was a solid script. I actually had a couple of different people proofread it, and they agreed that it seemed pretty good, so thank you guys for helping out, especially Joe, because Joe, you helped out on a couple of times. So thank you very much. I really do hope that you guys did like this episode, and I am sorry it took so long to get out. This is one of those topics, conversations, that's really hard for me to talk about. It really is. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm more of a sidelines guy. I've never been in relationships like I'm describing here. But yeah, sorry it took 3 years, and I hope that this turned out pretty good. I think it should turn out pretty good. But you want to know something? I don't know my own content, so I know that this is different from Minecraft, so that's a step up. It's a good job for us. Yay, we finally broke Minecraft for once in a while. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it because I know I could ramble for a long time, and I know you guys don't want to listen to it. So I will see you guys back here in the next episode.